Good evening, everyone. Cameroon are currently holding their first training session at the Yaoundé Military Stadium, a session delayed due to some irregularities resulting from the ongoing Faker Food Minsep squabbles. We'll tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And in an unexpected turn of events, Cameroon's football governing body, Faker Food, and the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education find themselves embroiled in a heated conflict over personnel appointed. This ongoing dispute has left the football community in a state of disarray, raising critical question about the stability and future direction of the sport within the country. Tell you more in this edition of Newscasts. And the return of the rains is synonymous with floods in the marshy neighborhoods in Douala, and as the rains by the situation. Those are major stories. Details right ahead.
Canal International.
Hello once more, welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. The Indomitable Lions of Cameroon are currently holding their first trade due to some irregularities resulting from the ongoing Faker Food Minsep squabbles. Our reporter Hysen Cha has been following up with the situation and is presently at the military stadium. Hysen Cha, hello.
Good evening and welcome to the Waikele Military Stadium here, where the Indomitable in Yaoundé. A training session that was scheduled for 3:30 p.m. But later, we got information that it was annulled, but surprisingly, they are here about 2 hours later to carry out the training session. Many have speculated that the delayance or the annulment could be as a result of the fact that they didn't have the training equipment at their disposal. But now we can see them putting on jerseys. But for the bus that brought them here, which we all know is a private service bus here in Cameroon. So just to say, Mark Breeze and his boys are trying to put things together to see how they can officially kick off with the training session here, despite the numerous irregularities, and to indicate that the press has been given just 15 minutes to see how the Lions are beginning their training here, and to indicate that the Cameroon Football Federation has issued a communique indicating that they have been disassociated from the organization of the two games this week, Saturday 8th and on the 11th against Angola. That is the latest information we have for you as far as the Indomitable Lions is concerned. We shall be bringing you all the necessary updates in our subsequent newscast.
And thank you so much, Hysen Cha, for the first training session of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon at the Yaoundé Military Stadium. And it is the training session is happening at a time when Cameroon's football governing body, Faker Food, and the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education find themselves embroiled in a heated conflict over a personnel appointed. This ongoing dispute has left the football community in a state of disarray, raising critical questions about the stability and future direction of the sport within the country. More with our reporter, Kizi Kiga.
Has escalated, leaving the football fraternity in a state of uncertainty. The recent meeting between Faker Food President Samuel Eto'o, Coach Mark Breeze, and the Sports Ministry failed to yield anticipated peaceful resolution regarding coaching appointments. Casimir Wanzi, a sport analyst, reacts on this recent fight.
Cameroon football has been going through this scandal for about 2 months now. Imagine 5 days to the match with Cape Verde. The Fecafoot and the MINSEP are still fighting. The case we saw yesterday at the Hilton Hotel confirmed that these two have not come to an agreement. Can this bring peace among the players? Not at all. The other day, the player went to play at Ngwaikele without the team. This shows that the fight still continues.
The consequences of such actions are both immediate and far-reaching.
La conséquence ou les conséquences immédiates sont que
the immediate consequence is that it is already disturbing the preparation for the upcoming match. Psychologically, it can affect even the players. The refusal to give the materials is also an effect. Cameroon can be sanctioned in time to come.
Both parties are involved in the management of the Indomitable Lion. How will it go if there is not agreement? What about the conference after the match? How will they face each other? It is becoming complicated.
It should be noted that the Indomitable Lions will face Cape Verde in a crucial match scheduled for Saturday, June 8.
And the tense atmosphere between Fecafoot and the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education has kept football lovers disturbed as the match between Cape Verde and Cameroon draws closer. Fans have called on the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon to stay focused. As we end the following story with our reporter, Christy Ayare.
5 days to the match between Cameroon and Cape Verde, the problem between Fecafoot and the Ministry of Sport continues to escalate. Cameroonians are in a weird pool of uncertainty of the outcome of the next Saturday's game against Cape Verde.
On est même perdu selon moi, on est perdu ce matin avec tous les embrouilles qu'on voit dans le stade. Tout.
It can affect the match of soon because the player will not be emotionally and morally stable.
Il y aura problème.
There will be a problem. We won't be able to cope.
Il y aura problème.
Across the board, Cameroonians react differently to the ongoing brouhaha.
Notre bateau n'a pas de capitaine.
We are riding on a boat that does not have a captain. We are calling on our real captain to show up. Our real captain, which is the president.
when the MINSEP leave Fecafoot do your work. Simply.
Despite the face of fury, many Indomitable Lions fans are optimistic the Lions will defeat Cape Verde. Despite everything, they're going to emerge victorious.
Samedi, c'est la victoire. Et je peux même déjà donner même le score. 1-0.
Meantime, those summoned for Saturday's game are still to have their first familiarization warm-up.
And the return of the rains is synonymous with floods in marshy neighborhoods here in Cameroon's economic hub. And as the rains approach, residents are preparing to protect themselves from the dangers and inconveniences caused by the situation. Our reporter Gladys Ambodibang has been talking with the population living in such marshy areas. Her story.
As the rainy season announces its return, residents who dwell in swamps and shanties in Douala are preparing to face the unexpected. For most people here in the Bilonge 1 neighborhood, their focus is on clearing the gutters and backfilling the front of their homes. Those who have the means to buy earth fill their compounds to prevent their houses from on Sundays, I need gutters around my house. When it rains, we are obliged to place our belongings up. We have nothing else to do. These measures would benefit the population if they were implemented effectively. If the drains and no amount of advice can change them, to encourage their civic actions, they are waiting for support from public authorities. Here we have the impression we have been abandoned. The water that floods our homes comes with strong current. We need help from authorities to avoid having a catastrophic rainy season. While waiting for this support, the residents are doing what they can to protect themselves from the floods. Meantime, there have been no warnings for meteorological stations.
And the roads connecting directly to the Mispo Stadium and surrounding the Panda neighborhoods are in extremely bad state, riddled with potholes that have transformed into craters, making passage difficult, especially after heavy downpour. More in the following story. This stretch of road leading to Omispo Stadium and its neighboring areas is in dire need of repair. The current state of the roads is described as a nightmare by locals, with potholes as large as craters, making it challenging for drivers to navigate. The situation worsened significantly after a heavy downpour, forcing motorcyclists to seek narrow paths to cross through. Local businesses along this stretch have been severely affected, with many businesses coming to a halt due to the poor road conditions. Residents have lamented the frequent repair efforts, which are often temporary fixes involving gravel that deteriorates within months. The constant cycle of inadequate repairs has left the roads in a perpetual state of disrepair.
Yeah, the road is too bad. It's too bad. When you are passing, you have to be careful so that you may not fall inside it. If you are not careful, you will just fall inside it. So you have to hold your motorcycle very well. When passing, most especially in the middle like that, you have to look for where it's not deep.
The situation at the popular Mala stretch is similarly problematic. Here, a large pothole in the middle of the road has rendered the area nearly impassable, adding to the residents' frustration. Not long ago, like last year, this same stretch was repaired, but everything has been washed away and the road has come back afresh with the same potholes and craters. Both the Mala stretch and the Omispo area face the same issue: deteriorated roads that significantly hinder daily life and economic activities. Residents and business owners alike are calling for the construction of quality roads to foster the fast development of the economy. It's been 2 years since the demolition at the Dikolo Valley, Douala, yet the pain remains or persists with the court ruling in their favor. The victims now demand compensation and a reparation. A significant gathering took place on June 2, where those affected voiced their continued sufferings. More with our reporter, Saleh Sherifa.
It has been 2 years since the demolitions in Dikolo Valley, Douala. The displaced residents remain in a state of destitution. We stand here today amidst the stark realities of sickness, aging, and homelessness, acknowledging the harsh truths that grip our community. June 2, 2024, the victims of the land dispossession from May 14, 2022, raised their cries of anguish at the sight of the devastation. Dressed in black, they demanded reparations 2 years after being evicted from their village in the Douala 1 municipality. Despite 2 trials in the Court of Appeal, where the lands were returned to the victims, their struggle is far from over. The community calls for justice and reparations.
We
hold on to the belief that our voices, united in purpose and determination, will echo through the halls of power, compelling those in authority. Rituals were performed this day. A mass was held and tears continued to flow in Dikolo Valley.
A change prompting a nationwide tree planting initiative to save the planet. The campaign spearheaded by Key Empower Foundation launched on May 31 at AEC Petit Sakeye in Douala. More in the following story. In a bold and inspiring move, young peoples in Cameroon are stepping up to combat climate change through a major tree planting campaign. Despite their tender age, these peoples are accurately aware of the dire consequences of climate change and recognize the importance of planting trees to help save the planet.
The trees give us to breathe, giving air to breathe, and it's helping the environment for us to be healthy. And there's no, we don't have
to breathe very well.
The effects of climate change are real and the statistics are quite frightening.
Reports from the World Economic Forum, from the United Nations Environmental Programme, it is estimated that about 118 million people in Africa would suffer from the adverse effects of climate change if nothing is done between now and 2030.
Rising temperatures, erratic weather patterns, and environmental degradation pose significant threats globally and locally. In response, the KP Empower Foundation has initiated a crucial tree planting campaign to mitigate these effects.
It's in our interest to protect our environment. If not, we're not going to have an activity which is going to be sustainable. 100 years, 200 years down the line, we may not be doing what we're doing today.
It's a convergence plan, so we have other partners on board this plan. All of us together by 2026, we should have planted 20,000 trees in the littoral region. We're moving eventually to the far north region.
This significant initiative was officially launched on May 31, 2024 at the Call Evangelique Petit Sake. The event marks the beginning of a nationwide effort to encourage aiming to restore forests, enhance biodiversity, and combat climate change. And that report brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching.
Canal International.